In a small village surrounded by dense forests, a young boy named Leo gazed at the night sky through his old telescope. He had always been fascinated by the stars, especially one bright star that seemed to blink in sync with his heartbeat. His grandmother told him it was his guiding star, but no one else could see it. Determined to find out why this star was special, Leo decided he would one day travel beyond the village to uncover its secrets. Leo's best friends, Mia and Toby, were always ready for adventure. Mia, with her lively curls and endless curiosity, and Toby, who loved crafting gadgets from anything he found, were the perfect companions. Let's find out why only you can see that star. It could be an adventure, suggested Mia with sparkling eyes. One moonlit night, the trio packed a small bag with snacks, a notebook, and Toby's handy compass. Ready to follow Leo's guiding star, the forest loomed dark and mysterious, casting long, whispered shadows around them. As they made their way through the woods, strange, glowing flowers began to light their path. Look, the flowers open with the starlight, exclaimed Toby as he picked one glowing bloom. It's like they want us to follow them. Walking deeper into the woods, the children came upon a clearing. The clearing glistened with hundreds of similar stars. Right in the center stood an ancient stone circle, as if someone had placed it there long ago to honor the stars above. Leo felt a strange pull towards the circle. He stepped inside, and as soon as his foot touched the center stone, the ground shimmered softly, revealing a constellation map carved long ago. The very same star Leo admired in the sky shone brightly on the stone. Mia marveled. Leo, it's you. You're part of the constellation. Toby adjusted his glasses, noticing something unusual about the map. It's not just any map. It shows a path leading from here to the star. With newfound wonder, Leo realized the stars weren't just distant dreams, but part of his story. He might not reach them as an astronaut, but their twinkling presence in his life would forever be his guiding light. Hand in hand, the friends promised that they would always chase their dreams, guided by stars only they could see together. With this magical discovery, they returned to the village, knowing that the forest held secrets for those who dared to seek them. Leo packed his bag with essentials, bread, water, and his beloved notebook, and set off on foot toward the nearest town. Along the way, he met an elderly traveler who warned him about the dangers of chasing dreams too far. Some mysteries are better left unsolved, the man said. But Leo's resolve only grew stronger. He thanked the traveler and continued his journey, feeling both excited and scared. As Leo walked, he recalled the tales his grandmother used to tell him about the hidden wonders beyond the town. Secret gardens filled with talking plants, rivers that sang melodies, and enchanted forests that turned daylight into a glittering dusk. The path was winding and occasionally tricky, with overgrown vines and peculiar shadows dancing beneath the trees. Yet Leo's spirit was unwavering. Every step was a beat in the melody of his adventure. Not far down the road, Leo encountered a playful squirrel nibbling on a nut. It looked at Leo with bright eyes and seemed to beckon him to follow. Curiosity piqued, Leo followed the squirrel, which led him to a beautiful clearing. In the clearing, flowers bloomed in fantastical colors, reds brighter than apples, blues deeper than oceans, and yellows as radiant as the sun. Butterflies fluttered around, playing a gentle dance of colors in the air. Leo paused to sketch the scene in his notebook, capturing the magical moment to revisit whenever doubts crept into his mind. But as he stood up to leave, he realized the path had vanished. His heart raced as he turned around, hoping to trace his steps back, but he was surrounded by walls of towering flowers. Remembering the traveler's words, Leo felt a shiver of apprehension. Nonetheless, he took a deep breath, reminding himself that this was part of the adventure, a puzzle to solve, a tale yet to unfold. Suddenly, the squirrel reappeared, chattering and darting around Leo's feet. With relief, Leo understood. This creature was his guide. Following the squirrel's swift movements, Leo navigated through the labyrinth of blooms. He found a narrow path leading back to the road. He learned a precious lesson. Sometimes, help comes in unexpected forms, and sometimes the journey itself reveals the answers we seek. Leo continued on his path, his notebook full of sketches, his heart lightened by newfound wonder, and his mind enriched by lessons learned from unexpected friends. Chasing dreams might be daunting, but with each step forward, the world unfolded with magic and mystery. As night fell in the small village of Willowbrook, a ferocious storm began to brew above the quiet little hills. The clouds gathered like a rumbling herd, pushing and pulling the night sky into a swirling dance of wind and rain. In the middle of a tiny clearing stood Leo, a young boy with curious eyes and an adventurous spirit. Afraid yet determined, he clutched his trusty notebook tightly against his chest, its pages filled with sketches and dreams of stars. With his feet splashing in the puddles formed by the sudden downpour, Leo darted towards the shelter of a nearby tree. The branches of the old oak swayed and rustled, providing a small reprieve from the relentless rain. Leo felt a shiver run down his spine, both from the cold wetness that had seeped through his jacket and the suspense that crackled in the air. Lightning slashed across the sky like a paintbrush dipped in luminous ink, revealing a fleeting canvas of bright whites and deep blues. In that split second, Leo saw something that made his heart leap. High above, amongst the roaring clouds, his special guiding star flickered violently, as if wrestling with the storm itself. "What are you trying to tell me?" Leo wondered aloud, mesmerized by its unusual dance. Despite the frightful storm, Leo's resolve hardened like the mighty oak above him. He pulled out his notebook, undeterred by the wind's attempt to steal its pages. His pencil moved swiftly, recording the night's chaotic beauty and his star's urgent message. For Leo, the storm was more than just about bad weather. It was a test of bravery, a challenge to remain steadfast in the face of the unknown. He knew that every storm eventually passes, but the courage to learn from it and the choice to hold onto one's dreams were what truly mattered. Nestled under the tree, Leo made a silent vow to himself. No matter how turbulent the skies or wild the winds, he would continue his journey, guided always by the light of his star and the words within his heart. Days later, Leo arrived at a bustling city where he found a small observatory. The observatory was nestled between towering skyscrapers, a gem of knowledge hidden amid the city's busyness. Inside, the air was filled with the scent of old books and the comforting hum of a telescope tracking the heavens. An old astronomer, with eyes sparkling like the night sky and a smile that crinkled the corners of his wise face, welcomed Leo warmly. "What brings a young traveler like you to my humble observatory?" the astronomer asked, his voice a gentle blend of curiosity and kindness. Leo recounted his adventure, each step infused with the excitement and wonder that had filled his heart since he first saw that mysterious star. He explained how he had crossed valleys, climbed hills, and wandered through forests, all in search of the star that had captivated his imagination. For hours, the two worked side by side. The old astronomer carefully analyzed Leo's observations, peering through telescopes and scribbling notes on star maps. Outside, the city buzzed with life, but inside the observatory, time seemed to stand still as they dove into the mysteries of the universe. Finally, the astronomer lowered his telescope and turned to Leo with a gentle smile. "Young traveler, I'm afraid the star you seek may not be a star at all," he said. "It's likely a reflection, a rare phenomenon created by an unusual dance of light in the atmosphere." Leo's heart sank at first, disappointment casting a shadow over his dreams. But as the wise astronomer spoke, Leo felt a spark of understanding ignite within him. He realized that every step of his journey had been a star in its own right, guiding him to new discoveries and friendships. Sometimes, the astronomer mused, the journey teaches us more than any destination ever could. With a newfound sense of wonder and appreciation for the world around him, Leo thanked the astronomer and set out into the bustling city once more, his eyes now open to the countless stars waiting to be discovered in every corner of life. And so, Leo's adventure continued, guided by wisdom, curiosity, and the magic of the universe itself. In the small village of Evergreen, where the hills kissed the sky and the time often stood still, a young dreamer named Leo lived. He was a curious lad, always fascinated by the gentle twinkles of the stars that adorned the night sky. Every evening, Leo would climb onto the thatched roof of his tiny cottage and gaze at the dazzling sprawl above him, sketching what he imagined to be distant worlds, magical creatures, and hidden secrets. One crisp autumn evening, as Leo stared upwards, he made a sudden decision. He would embark on a grand quest to find a star of his own. He packed a small bag with bread, a bottle of milk, and his prized telescope, a gift from his grandmother. Leo's journey led him through enchanted forests, across babbling brooks, and over tall mountain tops. His feet were weary, but his heart was full of hope. Villagers and wanderers along the way were intrigued by his tale, some even offering words of encouragement or the warmth of a shared meal. Despite never finding the elusive star, Leo's journey was filled with new friendships and knowledge. Eventually, Leo returned to Evergreen, his bag a little lighter but his soul much richer. His fellow townsfolk gathered around, eager to hear about his adventures. With each story he told, their eyes would widen and their imaginations would soar. Leo's stories brought the stars down to the earth, filling hearts with dreams. Inspired by his experiences, Leo used his newfound wisdom to build an observatory. It was simple but cozy, perched right atop the hill near the village where the sky seemed closest. In this newly crafted sanctuary, Leo spent his days teaching the village children about the wonders of the universe, guiding them to look up in wonder and dream just as he did. Through his teachings, Leo realized that while he may not have captured a star, he found something more precious, a passion that ignited curiosity and unity among his people. And so, the stardust from his dreams sprinkled inspiration across generations, leaving a legacy that sparkled brighter than any star he could have ever found. Indeed, Leo discovered that sometimes dreams don't end. They simply transform into something more magnificent, a new beginning for all those willing to look up and dream.